Festiie fam, the time is now. Festival goers unite. Welcome to the Festiie Files podcast, where we highlight the creative and inspiring individuals who collectively bring the music festival experience and community to life. So if you're watching this at home and you attend festivals, if you are a dance performer on the big stage, if you're a vendor at the events, or if you're the person providing the beats, like the person we have on today, we all each play an integral piece in the puzzle, an integral piece in the festival and music community. My name is Desmond Beristain, CEO and founder of Festiie, the festival smart band. And today, oh man, I had to get this guy on ASAP because the grooves were just so good. So he's a writer, producer, multi-instrumentalist. I said that word right.
Nice.
Groovy house and techno inspired sounds. He just launched his solo career and is already putting out massive heat, including a massive collaboration with Sabrina Claudio and Kaskade. Woo. He's also worked with talents such as Khalid, Pink Sweats, the Martinez Brothers. The list goes on, and his goal is really simple: to shake dance floors worldwide. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mikhail Beltran, aka Sad Money. What up, Sad Money? Welcome to the Festiie Files podcast.
And what's going on, Des?
Just not much, just catching my breath, bro, after these long intros.
I'm happy to be on here, dude, supporting your podcast and, let the people know a little bit about myself, so it should be.
Yes, sir. That's really the thing, man. Right now, since we've all kind of been forced to take that step back, right? We're not at the events and at the festivals. But what we've been able to do is self-reflect during these times. You know what I mean? When I have that mask on, I'm thinking to myself, how can I make a difference? How can I change? How can I also learn more about the culture so that when we get back out there, we can make it a better place? So we kick off this podcast to share those stories because each of one of us has a story. And dude, honestly, it's funny because, I'll keep it real. 2 weeks ago, I didn't even really know about you. And then I don't even go on Instagram that often, but I went on and I was like, oh, Kaskade's on with somebody. Let's see what's going on here. And then next thing I know, I'm like, I watched the whole thing. You guys are like, chatting and this the vibes. I was like, dude, this guy's tight, And then I was like, all right, and what's this song they're talking about? And then I checked that out. And after that, I was like, oh, man, just the whole experience itself was super cool. So, dude, would love to let's get into your story, man. Let's get straight up into it.
So, if we're going to start from the very beginning is, started making beats in high school, it was kind of like my way to make friends in a way. I went to a really, jock high school. Andrew Bynum went to my high school. Two basketball players went to my high school and stuff. And, it was just – I wasn't really a jock at all. So, the jock kids would always kind of, just tease me a little bit or whatever. And I'm just trying to figure out, my little thing. And I thought it could be music because I've been playing piano my entire life pretty much since I was 6. And and I started making beats in study hall, and then the jocks would come over and then they'd be like, oh, what are you doing, dude? Making beats? You think you're gonna be Timberland or something? Just listen to it. And then they started listening to it and they started liking it. And I started to make friends that way, and I kind of got addicted to just music creating, and I knew this is gonna be what I do for the rest of my life. Fast forward a little bit, I just been through a lot. I'm 30 years old, so I got my foot in the door when I was 19, 20 with a college rap group. It was really crazy. Just we made a mixtape in our dorm room, and then it kind of blew up overnight on Dat Piff, and that group was called the Dean's List, which is
Dat Piff. Back in the day, Dat Piff. You gotta download it. Dat Piff exclusives.
It was good times, man, because we just released it. We were in our dorm room, and then it just kind of blew up overnight. And we started opening up for when Wiz Khalifa was doing his college routes and Mac Miller was doing his college routes. Wow. Guys like Chitty Bang and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that was my foot in the door. And then, all things come to an end. I moved to LA after that, and I just started trying to produce for other people. You know what I mean? And I tried to hunt down A-list artists. And I think that was my first mistake moving to LA. The first 3 years, I was chasing Bieber cuts, Rihanna cuts, the big guys that every producer's dream is to cut, and it didn't really work out. I got really close on getting on Bieber's Purpose album. Like we cut like three songs together, and like I was like putting all my eggs in that basket, and it didn't work out, and I didn't get on that album. And like I got into a weird place because I spent 3 years like just working towards that, trying to get it, and it didn't happen. And I was like on the brink of quitting music. This is like 25, 26, like mid quarter life crisis kind of thing. And all my friends are like, yo, you're crazy, bro. Like, don't even bother quitting. Just do what you were doing before. Like, just make music for yourself. Stop trying to make music to make money or get big placements and stuff. And at the time, like, how I was paying my bills was like just doing a lot of client work. Like, you know, rich mommy and daddy have a kid that want to be a superstar. And I knew a big songwriter. And like, whenever I went to that songwriter, I was like, dude, I'm broke. I need money. He's like, just look at my emails, try to get these gigs and, earn money off that way. And I was like, it was just eating my soul away, dude. And I decided to become an artist after that, and under the name Sab Money, because Sab Money is like a memento to me that like I should just keep doing the things I love and everything will just fall into place. Because back then when I was doing all that client work, I always told myself I was making sad money, like, yeah, I'm paying my bills through music, but I am not passionate about this music whatsoever, and it's eating my soul away. I need to change something about my life. And so I decided to go under Sab Money, and then that's when I found Sabrina Claudio, and we've been working together from the very beginning. And like before, she was just doing covers, didn't have an original song out. We started working together. I just thought, like, instead of chasing a big artist that's huge, stay and grow and develop with an artist together, And now, fast forward a couple of years, we have this loyalty together where it's like I'm executively producing her albums, and now she's hopping on my project. And yeah, for a very long time, I was trying to figure out what I am as an artist, and I thought house music would be a good way because, like, yeah, I write songs and I produce songs, but like I can't really sing them live. I usually have another artist sing them, And I thought a great way for me to perform as an artist is by DJing house music and making house records. And that's kind of how it all came together. And I have a lot of friends in the house world. Growing up in Jersey, I used to always like go to New York and stuff. And that's how I kind of got like into house music. And yeah, dude, like now I'm in this journey of just like trying to do house music and see where it goes, And I got that new single with Kaskade and Sabrina, and I think that's a good one to start. And I'm excited to see what else is about to come out,
Bro, that's more than a good one. That is that's on repeat for like a week already.
That's what's
so
yeah.
talk about that. Like, how did that happen?
So me and Sabrina made that song probably, was it a year? Like we had that song sitting on for a year, and we wrote it with Ezzy and Jackie, who are great writers. I work with them a lot on the pitching side of things, and then when I decided to work on my own house project, I brought them in to help me write a record for Sabrina that Sabrina would cut. And we found the record, just made the beat in front of the two writers, Ezzy and Jackie, and kind of just all came together. It's actually kind of funny. I would love to play like a little snip of like the first like 4 hours of the beat, because it's very interesting to show people like how much work goes into a song.
Yeah.
So I think this should play. Let me just check.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
So this is like after the first 4 hours, right? So the beat is just one loop, and it's just Sabrina's vocal. And it's interesting. You catch the vibe, but when you listen to the one that's on Spotify, you could hear all the polish we added to it. So like, here's a little snippet of that. Let me know if you hear it or not.
No.
No, okay.
Kind of.
Kind of. Well, anyways, let me just talk more about the song then, because be a lot of technical work I don't want to do right now.
Yeah, it's like.
But yeah, so me, Jackie, Ezzy, Sabrina finished writing the record, and then I want to get like a big feature on it who's respectable in house music and stuff like that. And I wanted to target the song towards like streaming, I feel like sometimes when I make house tracks, it's like, oh, I know this is for like the dance floor. I know this probably wouldn't go crazy on streaming, but I know all the DJs would want to play this. and would come away. I really want to be a streaming record. So I knew Kaskade would be the perfect fit. And so my team reached out to Kaskade's team. Turns out he loved the song and loved everything I was doing. And then we started chatting, texting, and then he starts adding his arrangement to it. And he starts adding this polish to it that is so good. Like, he really killed the arrangement, man. Like, the arrangement I had prior was, I don't know, man. He really like brought it together. So like, I really appreciate Kaskade for like putting his expertise into the record, you know? Like, it wasn't like just like one of those, oh yeah, grab the feature, slap his name on it, blah, blah, blah. Nah, he really like put his work into it. So like, even at his age, I wish I could be that into the work as well, you know? Because I work with a lot of my idols too. And a lot of the times they take the back seat on production nowadays because, you know, like they got people that make beats for them and stuff like that. But like, I appreciated Kaskade like really putting the work into it as well, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's cool because like you've had this interesting journey where you've seen a lot of big names on the production side, and but then you've also had just like that behind the scenes look at everything, and now you're kind of emerging publicly. But talk about how maybe the 3 year kind of trying to break through on Bieber, and then all these experiences have brought you to the point you're at now, which I mean, dude, that was a hit track and there's more to come.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it made sense. There's a purpose for it all.
Yep. I mean, yeah, like during those 3 years, man, like I was just trying to figure it out, you know, because when I first got my first success in the door with the Dean's List, it was like just ground, like in our apartment. We're just doing it all, trying to figure it out. And then here I am, moved to LA, kind of starting fresh new as this producer. Like, I had to learn like how to do actual writing sessions with people because I come from just making beats in my bedroom, you know. And when I
Yeah.
went into my first LA session, like, I'd be sitting there trying to find the right kick for an hour while the writer and artists are behind me, just like, all right, dude, any day now.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? And I learned a lot from just like repetition of those kind of sessions because I learned to become quick. Like,
Mhm.
when I'm in a session with artists, I know how to try to get them to cut something immediately, you know? And sometimes it's not even a full track. It's like just chords. And then they're already like, oh, I got an melody idea. I'm like, all right, let's cut it just to the chords. And then I'll end up just making the beat after they have the song, you know, like stuff like that. And yeah, it's been a journey. It was really tough those first 3 years, but it really made me the producer who I am now, honestly. So it's like, I'm really appreciative of that. It was a great learning experience. I had to fail a bunch of times to finally get to a point where I feel like I'm in a good position, you know? Um, yeah, and like working with Bieber was really cool. I worked with like a bunch of random artists too. Like, the script, like I could like, it's so many. When you're in the production world, I was signed to a big production company called they're called the Messengers, made up of Nasri Atway and Adam, and like those guys like really taught me how to really produce a song. And those guys are known for writing like 18 Bieber songs. Nasri wrote the song "Why You Gotta Be So Rude,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a huge song, you know what I mean? And they really taught me how to like work the pop game or work songwriting sessions and stuff like that. And really, because of them, I'm like the producer who I am today too.
Word, man.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple good things. Like, what makes a really good producer? Like, you mentioned Cascade, and you're just like, damn, like that's tight that he just went in on it,
Yeah.
and we were already feeling pretty good about it. But then he was able to elevate it. Um,
Okay.
what sticks out?
So a good producer. So before, I would be like, all right, you got to make the sickest beats ever, right? That's a sick producer. And that's every person who doesn't really know what producing is. They just assume it's the guy who's making the beat, right? And then when I started working with my idols, like I've worked with Diplo, I've worked with Pharrell, I've worked with like Black Coffee, and
Mhm.
like guys like that. Like, when I went in the session with them, I was like expecting them to like, I was a little disappointed because like they weren't really into the tracks. They would more like control the room. But after a while, I began to understand their reasoning, because when you're a producer, your job is to produce a song, right? So it's not even just the beat at that point. You have to make sure the artist is in check. Like you're helping the artist like power through the song so the song gets finished, and like what I learned from like my idols, like, yeah, they're not really into the beats no more, but like the way they control a room is like just amazing. And it's like truly what a producer is. Like if you go back to the days of before computers and stuff, and before beat making on computers, like producers were people who gathered people together to make a song. They would find the drummer, they would find the bass player, they would find the background singers, put them all in the studio together and kind of control the whole room so the song happens, and now I'm seeing it differently. Like I've gotten to the point where I feel like I'm a good beat maker. I could pretty much make any beat you throw at me. Like if I'm working with a rock band, I'll produce a rock thing, a rock track, anywhere. Like because like I just been doing music for so long, I just can't like sit there and just make one thing, And as a producer, dude, like just it's all about the song at the end of the day. So it's like I really respect guys like Kaskade, Diplo, and Pharrell still, because I learned something new from them where it's like now this is what I'm learning, how to control a room.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're not in the situation now where we could like be in a room with artists and stuff and work, I'm still learning it. I'm still gonna go crazy when this whole thing is over and perfect that, because that's who I strive to be. I want to be a Diplo. I want to be a Pharrell. I want to be a Black Coffee. You know what I mean? Reach that legacy, and that's something in common I've seen with all of them. You know.
For
So
sure, man. I think it's great that you say that. You know what I mean? Like that's the first step, right? To going for it, to realizing your aspirations and what you want to achieve is like saying it. Like I want to be this person, right? Because
yeah.
we've all been there where you say that, and then your friends look at you like, "What? You're crazy!" Like, no, like I really want to do that. You know what I mean?
That was like
But it
the
comes with stuff. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. And as you mentioned it, you're 30, and you're barely, you still have a ton left ahead of you, dude,
yeah.
and a lot to do.
Oh yeah.
So when you say that, talk about what that means, though.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's a funny story with going back to like like all these people. Like for example, I'm the oldest of 5 siblings, right? I got 4 younger siblings, and like when I was first starting out, just like getting my little setup in my bedroom, they would like always love to make fun of me, like just like, oh, dude, you think you can become the next Timbaland, just like the kids in high school and stuff like that, and like I never really looked at it back then like I was gonna become this big thing. I just really like doing it a lot. And yeah, dude, like it's just funny now because now where I'm at, like my siblings love me or refuse to make, are so proud of me because I've gotten them like free Coachella tickets or got them backstage somewhere or something like that, something cool. And like I don't know, it's cool. It's starting to become full circle, and there's still more I want to do in the future. Like I got so much more lined up. Like I'm a true, like for example, right? I'm a true underground head as far as
Word.
underground house music and stuff. Like that's where my heart lays. And like right now, like the first couple songs I want to do is more towards streaming, but I got like these songs lined up in my little ammo crate of like that I'm gonna release when we're allowed to be back on dance floors and stuff like that. Because I know a lot of these songs will work really well when DJs play them on dance floors versus like releasing it on Spotify kind of thing.
Word.
And like, oh, dude, I'm so excited to put those out, dude. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man, that
Yeah.
sounds amazing, dude. Like, pretty much. So talk about like what if I'm at home right now and I was like, okay, like even myself, I got my little setup here. I'm not trying to produce and all that, but I'm just having fun with it. But if I were someone that wants to take it serious and find a way out there, right? You
Yeah.
just spent like over a decade, and you weren't necessarily putting music out there under your own like
Oh,
your own name as an artist. So
yeah.
talk about how like there are multiple ways to get out there. You don't
Multiple
have to be
ways,
front
dude.
stage center.
Yeah. So if you're trying to get in the game as a producer, it's like I see it as 2 ways. You could be the hustler type who's making like 20 trap beats a day, and you're just literally emailing every connect every day, annoying them, bugging them, like just trying to get cuts because that's the name of the game. And like especially in the rap world, it's just like you gotta just give the beat to the person who who has interaction with the artist. You know what I mean? Or you could do what I did, because I'm honestly not that type of person to just like email every day beats constantly, just like, being that hustler. I'm more about the art, and I just like to take my sweet time. And the other way is, finding an act that is on the same level as you, that you can grow together. And a good example of that is me and Sabrina. Like, me and her were so broke. Like, every time I remember like going from the studio, and like, we'd go to the drive-through at McDonald's, and we're trying to figure out our the dollar menu, and we have $5 to spend, and what are the 5 things we're gonna get. And like, to look at her where she is now is just crazy. And like, when you develop an artist, man, it's like you get this loyalty with each other, because you've been there from the start. And like, you don't get that loyalty with artists that you like. Let's say I make a song today and I pitch it to Rihanna and she loves it, she cuts it. Like, yeah, I got the cut, but I have no relationship with her whatsoever. You know what I mean? And I don't get any kind of loyalty. Like, the next song she puts out, she probably won't even remember my name, kind of thing. And that's the beauty about growing with someone. You just always want to, like, I saw this podcast with Illmind, where he was talking about um, networking horizontally versus vertically, which I thought was really dope. Like, for example, vertically would be me reaching out to Bieber, like, yo, put me on, bro, versus finding people on your same level. So that's what I would recommend to producers out there, is like, you could take the two routes. Level up with an artist and grow with them, or hustle and email every A&R and email every management and just feed them beats every time. So I think those are the two routes new producers can take.
Word, man. That story, that's insane. Like, but I love it, man. Like, that's you guys aren't gonna have to go through that anymore. Like, seeing it happen, and that's what you remember the most. And literally every superhero, what's the coolest thing about the superhero? The origins, how they became the superhero.
That's
And damn, shouts out to Sabrina as well.
Yeah, Sabrina's doing her thing. We're trying to figure it out in quarantine. I'm hoping to like get her a setup at her crib so she could start recording again. But right now she's really into her garden. She's got this garden going on, and
Hey.
I haven't started any new hobbies, honestly. Have you hobbies?
Yeah, what's it like for you now? I mean, your setup is amazing. Your setup is dope. And how have you been adjusting to this kind of stay at home? Because like you said, you put out these tracks. It looks like 2020 was going to be a big year for you, just actually getting out there in public, and it still is. But what has the adjustment been like for you?
Honestly, bro, it wasn't really much different from my normal life, dude, because like, yeah, I would go to different studios all the time, and like, because I'm signed to APG as a producer and Ultra as an artist, so I have access to the studios. So whenever I do like sessions with writers and whatnot, I would always work over there, so I'd barely be in here. But it's been a blessing in disguise, because now I could actually treat these little toys I have here with respect and actually use them. You know what I mean? And it's been a real blessing. I've been learning a lot about myself with music production. I've been like learning how to produce music without really looking at the computer. Like, I just got this little hardware sequencer over here, which acts like as a DAW to most producers.
Or
And like, I don't even have to look at the computer to get the beat started, because so I've been doing this 10 years, right? I'd be looking and I'd be making beats every day. And you open your DAW, you have a blank screen, and there's so many possibilities in a DAW. Like, it's endless, right? Like, it's hard for me to make a decision nowadays with using a DAW, because it's like, there's just so many options. I can't finish an idea. So every time I get into that little rut, I start switching up my work process, because I'm always trying to strive for that time when I was like 17 years old, first opening up Fruity Loops, and I have no idea what I'm looking at, but like, I'm having the time of my life, and I'm always striving for that. So I'm always looking to learn something new. And like, this whole thing here is my new thing where they call it DAW-less setups, you know,
Yeah.
without making music without a computer, you know? And I think that's super cool. And there's something beautiful to the limitations of making music without a computer. So like I've been striving well, man. I'm still like I'm keeping up a routine, you know.
Mhm.
Every day I'm meditating, you know. Every day I wake up, I meditate. That's why I needed 15 minutes before we started because I
Hey.
just woke it up and I was like, I need to meditate first, you know. And then I still be working out, like doing P90X and insanity stuff,
Oh.
you know, like trying to, you know, just keep active, you know, because you know, as a producer, you could end up sitting in this chair for 48 hours and not do anything, and all you did was stuff your face with Doritos. You know, it's like I'm trying to like find a balance while I'm
Yep.
in quarantine. You know, because I used to go to the gym a bunch, and now that that was closed, I was like, ugh, I gotta do P90X at home, and the first couple times I hated it. Now I'm growing to love it. You know,
Yeah, dude.
so I'm
We we
flourishing in quarantine.
we pushed out. We got Festiie Fitness going on, man. You gotta get on that. So we got a
Oh
little
yeah,
on our
I,
YouTube.
I saw some of your workout videos and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but the funny part is like we pushed out a new one with an artist. Her name's Kara. You might have even heard of her.
dude.
Because she's from Jersey too, and then she came to LA, like
Oh,
kind of
really?
super similar. Kara, Karra,
K-A-R.
vocalist, bro, and she's
I have to look her up for sure.
yeah. And you probably heard her voice, 100%.
Got
But she jumped on, and we created a Festiie 15 because you heard about the quarantine 15. Everyone's
yeah.
gaining 15 pounds, so we're like,
Not,
man, we're doing the Festiie 15, a 15-minute workout. I was like, because I know you guys don't want to do the hour workout. I'll give you the 15-minute edition with the meditation at the end. So it was cool how you like talked about those two things, and it literally goes hand in hand. So like
yeah.
the meditation part, talk about that.
Okay, so like I don't know about y'all, but me, like I felt like I dealt with like a lot of anxiety, and I got like PTSD and stuff like that. When I was young, I was prescribed Adderall, and by the time I was like 18, I was begging my doctor for like the biggest doses of Adderall, and I had to like get off that because I was like it was a problem for me. So like right out of high school, like I was just like learning to like stop taking Adderall because you know I was told by a doctor when I was super young I need to take this, and because I have you know ADHD or whatever, and that was a crazy moment in my life. But after that, after not being on Adderall, I felt like my mind was still like going a little crazy. Like you know, just like your mind's just always a nonstop engine of thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, and my friend put me onto the idea, and my therapist too put me on the idea of meditation. And I would be on and off for a year, like you know meditating. I'm thinking, what am I doing? This is kind of, I don't know if this is working. Like this is kind of bullshit. I don't know. I can't, you know, I was just on and off for a year. But then the second year I was like on a streak. I use the Calm app, so you know how it shows the
Yep.
streak and stuff. um and I've been on it religiously, and I'm on my third year now, and I just see the beauty in it, man. It's like it's my thoughts aren't who I am, you know, it's just something I deal with, and I could look at my thoughts and be like, even if they're negative, and be like, you know, like those are just negative thoughts, you know, just like throw them to the side, you know, just let them pass, you know. Because before meditation, I would focus on these negative thoughts, and then I'm 6 feet deep into a hole of negative thoughts, and my whole day is ruined. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I felt like meditation has really helped me control that monkey mind that everyone talks about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's never suppressed. It's not like I'm never having negative thoughts. I still have negative thoughts all the time, but it's just easier to deal with now, you know?
Yeah, dude. And you mentioned it like, and I'm glad you mentioned it. Because right now mental health is super point of emphasis, right? For everybody at home. Like, and each day is its own challenge. Like you might wake up one day and just not be feeling it. The next day you might be feeling great. And if you are feeling good, like definitely reach out to somebody else because you know that positivity, that energy is contagious.
Yeah.
But you
And
mentioned how like therapy itself, I go to therapy, you know,
yeah.
and it's not like it's not, there's nothing wrong with it, you know, like you're running a company, you just mentioned it, so many thoughts, the atmosphere, the environment we live in now with social media and everything, and then just like supporting yourself and figuring things out, like that's just so much, and you want to be able to vent and get that, release that energy and just kind of share it. So maybe
Yeah,
talk about that, because I think it's cool. Like I've had a couple podcast guests share their stories and just say like, yeah, dude, therapy is fine. Like we should all be actually shouldn't
dude.
feel bad if we do it. And anything, it's more power to you. Like it's amazing,
Yeah. Yeah. I've been going to therapy now for 2 years. Like, we're the way I grew up, and the people I was surrounded with, we always looked at therapy like it was like, oh, dude, you must be like something really wrong with you. You know what I mean? Or
Mhm.
even meditation. Like, what is that voodoo bullshit? Like,
Yeah.
I grew up around that a lot, and like mental in my childhood, mental illness was just like something you could just get over. It's like, all right, dude. It's like, come on, dude. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, just get over the hump, figure it out. And therapy, I don't know, man. It's just nice to have someone to talk to, dude. Like you said, like it's someone to talk to that has nothing to do, that has no ties to your circles whatsoever, so you could just speak freely. And like the first 6 months of therapy felt like I didn't see the point in it, because I was just like, it's just me literally yapping the whole time, and like, why am I paying for this? And like after 6 months, it's something I need to do, because it just gives me another perspective that my therapist gives me, that I would have not have seen sometimes in certain situations. So therapy is great, dude.
Yep, exactly. And you just mentioned it just feels good to get it out and for someone to listen to you with no judgment. If anything, they'll just give you some additional perspective and help you work through things. Because we've all gone through stuff. We all have our own story, and like we shouldn't feel there's nothing wrong with finding ways to cope with it in a healthy manner. So if it is the meditation, therapy, all that's important. Everybody at home right now, it is a self-reflection time and period. So, and then when you hear somebody like Mikhail shared light on that and say without any hesitation, yeah, I go to therapy. Like it's inspiring for you to hear it. So,
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna be totally open with that, because it's like I said, the environment I grew up in, it's like very shunned upon. Like, if you go to therapy, you're kind of some crazy person. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I'm open arms, dude. Therapy is amazing for those who feel like they need it. Do it, man. I'm telling you.
Yep, 100%, 100%. Now, and of course, when your mind is a little more clear and you're able to have that self-centeredness, then you get back to your workspace, the laboratory, and then you crank out some heat.
Yeah, dude. I used to before I did meditation and therapy, I used to just put it all into the music. But at a certain point, you just need other ways to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I still, like, there used to be a time in my life where like I'd want a little bit of drama in my life, so I could bring that to the studio and into the music.
Yeah.
I used to do that with girls all the time. Like I'm 30 years old, I'm still single, so I feel like I'm not over my bullshit yet. But like, I would get these little dramas with girls, and like sometimes I'd be like asking for the drama because I need something to be inspired by or something, or I don't know, like it's just some weird things. But um, yeah, with making music after meditation and therapy, it's like just clear headed, because sometimes I'd be sitting here making beats, and I'm just in my own head. I'm like,
Mm.
all right, I'm playing this sound. No, that sucks. No, that sucks. And an hour later, I'm still thinking everything sucks. And with like meditation and stuff like that, it helps my mind just like keep the ball rolling. Don't get
Mhm.
stuck in this finding the perfect sound, just like create to create. And that's what meditation helps me with. It reminds me to do that, and I could still keep the ball rolling. So that's how it's really been helpful. It's just like getting out of my own mind when I'm making music. And because I would do that too when I was like doing sessions with artists. Like, if I had a big session with a big artist I'm first meeting, I'll get nervous and I'll be like, oh man, what if he doesn't like what I do? Like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to play these sounds, looking at him, making sure if I get him a reaction, you know what I mean? And like stuff like that, I don't really need to think about anymore after meditating and going to therapy for a while. It's like I just do it for me. I'm just gonna create what I really think is fire, and if they don't like it, they'll tell me. You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, let's try something else, and I'll be like, all right, cool, no problem. And it's just a lot easier to deal with my emotions when things don't go your way during a session, or yeah, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, dude. If you know, like you said, you play it, they're not feeling it. Let me go back into the ammo crate, you know, and you talked about that ammo crate, and I feel like that's a huge piece of like the treasure chest, or yeah, well, what is the ammo crate by
Oh,
your definition?
every producer has this. Especially producers in LA or songwriters, like, because producers and songwriters in LA, they'll probably do like they'll probably make 150 songs within a year, but only sell maybe 5 or 6 within that year, and that's really good.
Wow.
Or you make 150 songs a year, you get one hit on Billboard, and like that's a great track record. You know, if you get one hit a year, dude, that's still amazing. So like, imagine what you deal with a lot of rejection, dude. Like you write 150 songs, you pitch 150 songs, you get 149 no's, and you get one yes. That one yes ends up being totally worth it. But you know, the 149 other no's, you know, you have to get used to dealing with all that rejection, you know? And with that rejection gives you an ammo box full of songs. And the beauty of this ammo box is that music is timeless. So let's say you have all this ammo prepped up, like you start blowing up, everyone's asking you for a song, you have all these songs in your ammo crate to give away, you know, and people will still pick the fire because now your name is popping and now you have all this ammo to give to everyone, you know? So that's essentially what an ammo crate is, you know what I mean? That's what I like to call it.
Yeah. I dig it, man. The ammo, we gotta let that ammo out, man. This is the year. So so, and it's funny because you just mentioned it like, oh, you blew up overnight, dude. Oh, this. Nah, man.
Oh no, not at
Thousands
all,
and
dude.
thousands of tries, you know, and thousands of tracks and all that. It's funny. Like overnight success is what, 10, 15 years sometimes.
Yeah, dude, it really is. Like, it really took me 10 years to get to where I am now, man. Like, and I've had and like whoever's getting into this business, let me tell you all right now that it's never gonna be straight up like this. It's always gonna be like this, like a roller coaster. You know what I mean? You're gonna have your days where it's up and then it goes down, up and then down. And I always thought one day I'll just be at this point where I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like I could settle down, I could start a family, but it's never really gonna be like that, man. It's always gonna be like this in this industry, you know, and you gotta be ready for that. If that's not something you're willing to deal with, then I don't know how long you can make it in this game because it's always going to be like that. You know, it's music. It's not a stable income like my parent, like a lot of my cousins want to be are nurses or, you know, engineers,
Shout
you know,
out to all my Filipinos. I'm Filipino too. So
they out there, you know, they out there. And uh that why our parents or Filipino parents love us to go into that is because there's stability in it, you know, like we could start saving for a house and stuff like that. But music is not exactly like that. You get paid per song, and then hopefully one of your songs pop off and you can make off royalties. And the perfect world dream is like, you know, you make a hit song that lasts, that becomes an all-time classic, and you get paid for
Mhm.
your life. But you know that doesn't really happen all the time for everyone, so you kind of have to just make it work for you. And for me, it's, you know, I just get paid off per song that I produce for other people, and then like for example, eat off the royalties from like Sabrina, and that's how it kind of built stability. But then again, I don't know what's gonna happen in the next 2 years, 3 years. You know, I could be living under a bridge if things don't work out. You know, but you know, I love this shit so much that like I'm willing to risk that, you know, see where it goes, you know. I have all this cool stuff now. I don't know if it's gonna be here in 3 years, but you know, I'm here now. I'm living in the present, baby.
Yes, dude, I love it, man. You're keeping it real. Like that's
Yeah.
the truth, you know. Like people go on IG, people go online, and they think like, man, that person, he's keeping it real. He's like, yo, I'm having to grind every single day for this, and if I don't, it might not even be here on real talk. I'm not even talking about a mansion with 12 cars. I'm just saying like keeping it going, right? Like I do personal training on the side too, and I'm like, you know, got to keep that going. Festiie, our company, dude, we thought 4 months when we started this idea, 2017. We're like 4 months, we're going to be everywhere, every festival, every wrist. And then here we are 4 years later, it's like 2020, there aren't even festivals going on. And we're like, we're still at it though. We don't care. We're still at it.
Gotta keep it going, man.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, that's big time. And then honestly, even coming from like, I'm Filipino too, and dude, yeah. I mean, when I told my mom, "Hey, mom, I'm doing my own thing. I'm starting my own thing," she's like, "Just why not just the school and the this and that?" And there's nothing wrong with that. Like
Yeah,
that's it's all about what you love and being on the
yeah,
path that you feel comfortable or com- comfortably uncomfortable, right?
yeah.
Because that's the path we're choosing.
Mhm.
But how did you have the courage, bro? That takes
So,
courage, man.
I'm not gonna lie, my parents kind of pushed me towards the music stuff in a weird way. So
Wow.
one thing all me and my siblings had to do growing up was take piano lessons, right? And my mom had a really good Russian friend, and she was like a strict Russian teacher. You know what I mean? So from like age 6 till end of high school, I was kind of like taking these classes from her. She would come to the house, and we had a little upright piano, and I'd be playing these classical pieces. And like, dude, I'll tell you right now, like when I was like 12, 13, that was the last thing I wanted to do, you know? I didn't want to sit there and practice classical piano, and I was like trying to tell my mom I wanted to quit so much, just being a little brat, but she like kept forcing me into it, and she's like, "No, it teaches you discipline, like you're good at this, just keep going." And I'm just like, "I don't want to do this. I want to play with my friends outside. I want to play basketball and stuff like that." And like I really I can't thank him enough to this day, honestly, because like my piano playing has really helped me out in my career. And so they really like pushed me into it, but they didn't really think I was gonna like pursue a career in music. They just thought it would teach me discipline and stuff like that. And when I told them like when college came around, what do you want to do in my life, I was like, I kind of want to go to music school, and like they saw the prices of that, and they're like, we're not sure, like, you want to become a nurse or something, or but I'm a very stubborn kid, and I was like, listen, like if you don't want to help me out, I'll sign up for the student loans and I'll go to the school and I'll just figure it out. You know what I mean? And once they saw that like there was no stopping me, they're just decided to help. So what we did was like I got into the only college I got into was Berklee College of Music. And that was like one of the best schools. So
Yeah, I was like, what? That's
but the
amazing.
only reason I got in is because they don't accept GPAs. Because in high school I was an idiot, dude. Idiot. I didn't really try at all in school and stuff like that. So that's the only reason I got in. I got off based off the talent. And so what we did, like when we went to what should we call it, student loans and stuff, like we just split it. So I took care of what I loaned one half and my parents loaned the other.
Wow.
Luckily I only went to school for 1 year. So like we only had to pay 1 year of school, which we just paid off because Berkeley's $40K a year. Holy crap. Um, but yeah, finally paid that off and paid back my parents. So, and that's 10 years coming.
Dude, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, it happens, man. I'm not even trying to think about student loans right now. As a
Yeah,
college grad, I was like, all right, I just graduated. Now it's time to start my own business. And so it's like, but we all go through that. And so
yeah,
you did 1 year, and then after the 1 year, you were like, all right, I'm ready to be free, or is it a
yeah,
1 year program?
because after 1 year, like, okay, I actually, it's a great story. So, first week of Berkeley, I was going to the school, like, all right, I'm paying for these student loans. I'm going to really try in school. I'm going to get the best grades. I'm going to be a teacher sped. Like, I'm totally switch up my ways, 'Cause
Hey,
it's like all things I wanted to do, it's everything music. And then John Mayer comes and he does this little like seminar Q&A thing, right? And it's in the big performance center of Berkeley. And he gets done with this thing, and then becomes the Q&A. And there was a senior in school, and she was like, so I'm about to graduate, and just wondering how I could get my foot in the door. And John Mayer was like, well, if you have been trying to get your foot in the door the day you got to school, I gotta say you're kind of screwed, like. And he goes off on this whole thing where it's like, use the school to your advantage. If like the network is your best bet. Make your connections, and then try to build everything you can outside of this Berkeley bubble. And like the whole auditorium was like, oh, because it's like he's pretty much telling people to drop out of school
yeah.
as soon as you can. and also Berkeley has this like little thing where it's like, oh, if you graduate Berkeley, that means you're probably not successful because all the successful people drop out, and like that really stuck to me. So I changed. I went back to my old ways. Ride in my classes, but what I would spend my time doing is just doing sessions out of my dorm room, man. Like this, I would, because luckily before I got to school, I created, me and a couple people created, Facebook group class of 2018 Berkeley, and like right off the bat, I was getting a network of people who were going to be in my class and hitting up the people I thought were dope and running sessions in my dorm room. And I worked with literally everybody I could, anybody I could, just to get the experience. And and then I found that little college rap group, that was in that making, and we were making that mixtape in our dorm room first year, and then it blew up, and then we were gonna headline our own 40 city tour. So it was like time to drop out because this is what we go to school for, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's why I left and been doing it ever since.
That's awesome, man. It's cool because in the inspiring way of awesome. Not telling everyone to drop out, but telling everyone like when it's time and you jump, you jump, and then you got to go 100%. And it may take you on a detour, it may take you on the ups and downs. It will take you on the ups and downs, but you just got to know that it's kind of what you signed up for, and there's something more out there. There's something out, and you still stay true to those underground roots, right? You still listen and bump into tunes, and that's a huge inspiration of yours, right?
All day, dude. Huge inspiration. You talk about underground house music or underground?
Both.
So yeah. Well, underground house music started from. Well, I didn't know it was underground, or it wasn't really underground. So when I first heard house music, was cleaning chores with my mom. So my mom, little did I know, my mom was like a little club head back in the 90s, going to New York, going to like Sound Factory, stuff like that. And she brought home like the CD, and she would play it every time, it's time to do the chores, sweep or whatever. I'd help my mom. And I used to hate doing chores, but she would put on this Masters of Work CD. It was like a mix that she had. And like, I don't know, man. It made chores fun. Like we just started dancing while we were sweeping, and like I just felt like I just felt free when I would listen to this music, and I had no idea what I was listening to, and like I would steal my mom's CD and then just listen to it on my own, just trying to figure out what is this kind of music. I've never heard this before, And ever since then, I've been kind of drawn into the whole underground music side of house, like like what Seth Troxler plays, or what Martinez Brothers play, or like Blondish, or like that crowd. Like I love the style of music they play, because it's like, I don't know half the songs that they're playing, but that's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I go to festivals, like the main room stuff is super cool, and I get it, what works for the main room, but like, it's like hearing top 40 all the time, you know what I mean? And where I gravitate to is like, those 500 person club underground parties where the speakers are just right, and like every song you hear, you don't know what song that is, but it sounds great, and that's what I really love, man. I love that scene so much, So yeah, like talking about the ammo box and stuff, like I got some underground records in there that could be super cool, like, and I got a couple of cool underground DJs liking it, and like I'm super excited to see what happens, because I want the next first 5 singles to be more for streaming services, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want people that don't know house music to, like listen to that and be like, oh, okay, I can get into house music,
That's the thing that you just said it. Like, exactly. So you have to give shout out to all the artists who have taken it top 40, because they've opened the door. Whatever anyone has to say about them, they opened the door so that more heads can look at it and be like, oh, okay, is that what that's about? And then all of a sudden they're ending up trying to find an underground house music party or whatnot.
Like that whole underground and mainstream thing, like I feel like I'm like in the middle, like I have a lot of friends who like on the underground side, and they look at me real weird when I'm like, oh, you don't play vinyl during your sets? Oh, okay, well. Oh, you don't make your house tracks with all analog tracks? Okay, well, you're not seriously. You know what I mean? And I have a lot of friends on the other side of things that are like, like straight about the, going like full mainstream. You know what I mean? And like, I see the beauty in both sides. You know what I mean? And I want to be the kind of person who could do both.
Exactly, dude. My dad used to DJ back in the day,
Yeah.
and straight up vinyl mixer, right? So then I go to his house and I bring the DJ, the deck, and I just like set it up, and then he's like, all right, and I'm like, let me show you my beat match, and it's like all electronic. Like he's like, you're not using your ear though, and I was like, and then then it started there, and I was like,
Yeah, dude. I'm starting to get into vinyl now, dude, and like I only have a small collection over there, but like it's really it's what you said. It's about the ear,
yeah,
And I realized when I started getting the hang of mixing vinyl, it's like once you learn vinyl, dude, you could literally DJ on anything.
yep,
You don't need no sync button. You don't need none of that. Like all you just need is your ear to sync it up, and you're good to go.
exactly, dude.
That's what I love about vinyl, bro. It just feels so raw, and it just feels like you're putting in that much work. I love that, dude. So all my like DJ friends that like for example, like like Martinez Brothers, right? Like we first met when they wanted to do more hip hop stuff, and like we got into the session from mutual friends we had, and we started making hip hop stuff, and I started picking their brain about like DJing and stuff, and I was like, all right, well, one thing, how do you prep your sets? Like, do you guys like have it set up? And he's like, nah, dude, we literally just put a playlist together and we just go free. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And literally every DJ I talk to, like even Black Coffee, like everyone big is like, nah, we don't plan anything, dude. And and it seems like they're all trying to strive for this beautiful moment where on the dance floor, it's like a beautiful accident, where
Yes.
they didn't know mixing these two records was going to sound this great. But oh, dude, when I experienced it myself, when I started playing out, like just in LA bars and stuff like that, I would mess up a lot, because I'm just freestyling it. But then that beautiful moment where that happy accident happens, oh, dude, like I want to strive for that every time I do.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Like part of DJing is going with like if you mess up, like Laidback Luke says it. He's like, if you mess up, just like you gotta just keep going. Like what I mean, or make the mess up sound cool. Like you don't have to overreact. Oh, sorry guys, I messed up or whatever. Just like keep it going because you'll stumble upon those beautiful accidents as well.
Every time I mess up, dude, I just own it. Like, yeah, this is supposed to happen. I'm still grooving,
Exactly, man. And yeah, you mentioned it. Like you are kind of like right in the middle of the spectrum, which is cool because I'm a mixed kid. I'm Filipino. All things, I'm actually half Mexican as well.
Oh, wow.
But I'm in that mix, so I can vibe with everyone, and I feel like you kind of are doing that with with the mainstream hits, and then with the underground hits, and then like we should be able to appreciate both, and there's definitely a reason for both and coexisting of both. So
the underground stuff is like it's important for me to know the history of things, So like when I started diving into house music and stuff, I was like, I don't want to not know the history of house music going into house music, So I dived deep into the old 80s, 90s Chicago, Detroit stuff, and even the 90s New York stuff. Like went really into that and luckily I have a lot of friends that knew a lot about that, so I would just always pick their brain. Like my boy Blake, me and him went to high school together, and that's how I connected with Martinez Brothers and Blondish and Black Coffee, that whole camp.
yeah.
And he was like my best friend in high school, one of my best friends in high school. And and when I told him I was starting to get into house music, like he's like, yo, send me some tracks so I could just show it to them, and then one thing led to another, and here I am talking to a lot of them, really crazy. And through them I just learned the history. Like they would just show me records, and I'm just like saving the YouTube links that they show me and just going down YouTube rabbit holes of whatever came next on autoplay from that song, and
Oh yeah.
dig deep,
Oh yeah,
really
dude.
fun. Really fun.
For sure. That's when even with like my fiance, I'll play something. She's like, you've never played that before. I'm like, oh, you like that, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you know they ask you what song is that? And then you I thought you might say that, and you just just keep going and stuff, smiling.
I already know I'm gonna be one of those DJs that like when I start playing out a lot and like there's a lot of people in the DJ booth and they want to know the record, I'll be relabeling the file DJ so they'll never know, you know, like yeah, I don't know the song, bro. It's dash dash A B C A. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I know that's just like part of it. It's like keep that ID secret, like just like just vibe with it. It forces you to like, I don't know, but I love it, and I'm gonna keep dancing and be in the moment, and like that's part of the discovery phase of music.
Yeah, dude. One thing too, when I would watch a lot of like house music or dance music documentaries and stuff, like a lot of DJs in the old days, what gave them their power was like having a specific record that they only had, you know. And like I kind of want to bring a piece of that back, you know, like it's still there in the underground world for sure, you know, but I just really love that, you know, like having a record that no one else has that you'll play out, you know what I mean? And that's one thing I love about the underground is like some guys, they don't care about streaming and whatnot. They want to keep underground and keep that record only for them when they play out. And that's something I realized too when I was like in my journey of making house music. Is like I got all these underground songs, but I already know my producer side of my brain is like these are not going to stream well, you know, because there's no song on them. They're just like 6-minute house tracks, you know, and like but where they are perfect for is when you just play them out on the dance floor.
Exactly.
So, like I know a lot of my underground songs will just be made for that, you know, just for strictly for the dance floor. And you know, yeah, I'll put it up on streaming services, but I don't expect it to do anything. That's not what it's meant for. But yeah.
That's cool, man. I feel like you come to peace with the music. Like you're like, yo, I'm not gonna make this music. I'm not gonna make these tracks, but I'm not gonna put this high expectation on them. They're just gonna be part of the collection.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly, dude.
so let's just bring it back to Sabrina, because I feel like that
Oh, yeah.
story and you guys just kind of climbing up the ladder together. How did you meet her? And like, just, yeah, man, it's just a beautiful, inspiring story.
Yeah. So when I became Sad Money, me and my manager were like, yeah, let's stop chasing Bieber's, the Rihannas of the world, and let's develop our own artist. And so my manager went looking for artists, found Sabrina, put us in our first session together. She had just moved to LA from Miami. And first day we worked, man, like, I don't know, it was like our chemistry was just really good, man. Like we just got along really well. And within our second session, we made Orion's Belt pretty much.
Wow.
And that's like one of her biggest songs. And it's literally our first song we made together that's out, you know?
Wow.
And yeah, it's really interesting, you know, like it's a very brother sister relationship where it's like we fight a lot in a way, you know, like because we're so honest with each other. It's like there was a point between her first project and second project, which was um About Time was her second project. In between that, we didn't talk for 6 months because me and her got into a little fight about music, and like, you know, we just became we just didn't talk for 6 months because we felt so strongly about certain things. And 6 months later, you know, we kind of like, you know, time heals all, and we realized that we kind of need each other, and we started working together again, and it just became that much better, you know. And then here I am executively producing the last two projects, and you know, just having a hand in every song that she does. Like it's interesting how we work too, because it's like, you know, she needs me there in sessions just to make things comfortable, you know. Like sometimes, like if she's going to work with this certain artist, like she wants me to be there because she knows like I could, you know, make the room comfortable and, you know, speak her mind, because sometimes she can't really say technical things on the recording side that I could just tell the engineer a little easy, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And yeah, we have a just really good chemistry, man. Like I wouldn't, I see myself making music with her for the rest of my life, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's that.
Yeah, you guys are family, man. You just said it. It's that brother sister relationship, and we all have that. Like I have my bros who it's like we'll get into it and we get all heated or whatever, and then but it's like I still respect the person, and like literally sometimes time will fly, months, and then but then we'll get back to it, and then it's just like, nah, like that's fam though, and you know they also know you really well and bring out that person in you that like other people may not be able to understand.
Exactly. And with Sabrina too, like she could be very stubborn, right? She likes to do what she likes and that's it. And that's what makes her great as an artist, you know. But I feel like why she likes working with me too is because I push her, dude. Like you guys don't know, but we have there's like probably like 80 songs in the vault that aren't released. And like I've made her try so many different things from like pop songs to other house records to all this stuff. And like because I just see her like she could be bigger than just R&B. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
could see her being a total pop star, being a Rihanna of the world, where she could jump from a reggae album to a trap album to blah 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 blah, just like a true star. You know, I see
yeah,
Sabrina true star, and I think that's why we work well together because we're always pushing each other. And if it wasn't for Sabrina too, I would probably like wouldn't be as confident as I am in my house music. You know, like she helped me like push my motivation to become an artist. You know, so it's like it's a good relationship. It's
yeah,
great.
dude. Having that person in your corner that exactly that like it's like, nah, you could be this, you
Yeah,
can be this, and like you feel that energy, and then you're like, damn, like the person's right. Like I have even with Festiie, like I didn't know how to code or certain things like from the technical side of software, but then bringing in teammates and business partners, but that aren't just business partners, but like straight up co-founders that are like, nah, dude, like, and they bring that out of you, and you're like, damn, like, yeah, even though sometimes you might hear something you might not want to hear, you're like, I want it, I need to hear it because you're holding me to this higher standard that we both know we're
yeah.
each capable of.
Oh, very true, man. Another person who helps motivate me is my manager now, man. Like when we're 3 years ago when we first started working with Sabrina, I was in a very dark place in my life where I was just like wanted to quit music, go back home, become a nurse, screw it all, you know?
Mhm.
And like he really motivated me like to just like that I'm more than that, you know what I mean? That this music shit was really meant for me, you know? And even to this day, he's like my biggest cheerleader, dude. Like you know, any new milestone we reach, he's the first person to call to be like, "Dude, you did it!" You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
look, see, I told you so. I told you.
Yeah, I told you. It's like,
Like,
I told you, man.
you know what I
The
mean?
best feeling right there,
Yeah,
dude.
dude. And I'm so glad to have a manager who's been pretty much there since the day I moved to LA. You know, like my manager now, like we first lived together, not as my manager, but just as roommates. And then when I started my own artist thing, like he came in, he's like, "Yo, let me manage it," you know. And like I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know where it's gonna go, but let's just go. And then next thing you know, now you know he's managing Sabrina and me, and you know we brought other co-management in, and it's like this whole big thing now. It's just crazy to see from where we started to where it is now. It's like I'm just super grateful, man. It's like,
Dude,
whew.
trust, bro. Trust. You said it. Like I feel like I was gonna ask you what makes a good manager, but I can already feel it. It's
Oh
trust, man.
yeah, dude, it really is trust. You know, like you could get a manager who's like massive and like he likes you because your music's good. You know what I mean? But like you know, having someone that you know is like your friend too is just like at your corner. He knows he has the best interest for you, not just what's gonna make you the most money. You know what I mean? It's really nice to have. Like I have complete trust in Niall because like, dude, he was my manager for 3 years without making $1 off me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
Yep.
like, yeah,
That's it, man. And now, like, dude, this has been great. Like, obviously, you have. I'm gonna pass it to you. Give us a rundown. What tracks are out right now that we can listen to? Where can we find you? And then what's coming up next, man?
All right. So yeah, you can listen to Come Away with Sabrina and Kaskade on Spotify and Apple Music or whatever streaming service you're on. I also got a song called "The Freak Out" for my voguers out there. You know, straight kind of like on the underground side for the sweaty clubs or those who are voguing. You know, and then next record I'm still figuring out what to put out, but it's going to be in June, and I'm going to be putting out some mixes out on my SoundCloud under soundcloud.com/sabmoneymusic. And yeah, follow my Instagram as I'm like to post a bunch of stuff on there. And I go live on there weekly as well to review other people's music to give feedback. So make
Yes.
sure you follow me on Instagram too at Sad Money.
There it is. There it is. Well, he mentioned something that I'm not letting him off the hook yet because he brought it up. We're trying to save SoundCloud, y'all. We're trying to bring it back. Let's go into that real
Oh,
quick,
dude.
man. He just
Oh,
said
yeah.
SoundCloud.
Dude, SoundCloud, oh man, like it's completely changed. Let's not lie, right?
Yeah. I tried.
I don't know what to do, man. Like during back in the day, what was it, like 5 years ago or something
Yeah.
like that, when you could literally upload any bootleg you wanted, any mix you want. Like, dude, I'm getting taken down for my own songs, bro. Like, I got a strike off the Freak and Come Away, dude. Like, I'm like, dude, this is my song, guys. Like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on over there, but I hope it comes back, dude, because we need something like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like with the whole YouTube thing, and even like when I'm streaming on Twitch, like when I do DJ sets, like I watch the whole video and like it gets like the audio gets taken down because of the copyright stuff, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, I get where they're coming from, yeah, it's someone's got to get paid for playing those songs, but it's like we need some kind of platform where we could just do what we want again.
Yeah, just straight for the artistry of it, because that's where you find those crazy mixes and you'd be like, damn, and now it's like you can't even do the crazy mix because it gets taken down. You better grab it while right off the shelf, because otherwise it's going straight into the bin.
Where are you finding my like crazy mixes or new bootlegs or remixes? This is YouTube, man. Honestly, like it's interesting. Like it used to be SoundCloud, but for like the house stuff, I'm just going deep into YouTube, man. Like you'll find that track that only has 1,000 plays on it, and it's like, that's great, dude. I think YouTube is the new SoundCloud, I guess, because that's where I'm digging nowadays.
Yeah, it blows my mind on when I find something on YouTube and straight up I'm like, bro, how does this only have 1,000 plays? Like,
oh yeah, dude,
this is going in the set right now. Like, this is playing though.
I have so many underground friends that like when they put their sets together, they're like, oh yeah, each song only has like 500,000 plays on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, bro, get it, man.
I'll be that guy, man. I'll be one of them. I'll be straight up. I take pride in that. Like it's almost a reverse. You know how like, oh, you got 1 million views. I'm like, oh, you got 100 views. Oh, what are you working with here? But yeah, man, this has been great, man. Thank you for jumping on. You know what I mean? We had to get you on, and it's all peace, love, unity, and respect. Everybody, my name is Desmond Beristain, and we've had a great time with Mikhail Beltran, a.k.a. Sad Money. Find them at Sad Money. You know what it is. Festiie Files. We signing out, everyone. Peace.